Hey everyone, today we'll be doing an ultimate Mozzie guide, a video for everyone, whether you're a new player or a diamond. I will go from basics to the advanced stuff of Mozzie, so let's start, shall we? So for his loadout, I'm using his Ronnie, but the other primary is also very good. And on Ronnie I have angle grip, as his gun has no recoil. He's a 2-speed 2 armor operator and he's usually a roamer. What I like about him is that he has a pocket shotgun which is very good at destruction. But not just that, with that shotgun you can open hatches when roaming, which is essential when solo queuing. And between barbed wire and C4, I will go with C4 all the way. He has 3 pests that can hijack the drones. Drones will have this signal once they enter the radius of 2.1 meters. Once you capture the drone, the outline of the drone will be wide for you and your teammate, so don't shoot your drone, and let your teammates know that you hijacked the drone, and you cannot do next things with the drones. Take it, or drive it outside for more than 3 seconds. So, sometimes going outside with the drone is recommended, but make sure to go outside only for a second or two and then go immediately back. Once you capture it, attackers cannot regain it back whatsoever. EMP won't destroy the pest nor the drone, and it will only disable it for full 10 seconds. Also, if you're wondering, you can also capture drones and use her ability. There will be some cool tricks how can you make your pest a bit more secure and still not 100% secure against the drones. Did I say all basics? I think I did. Nope, I did not. To get the moving pests, shoot a bit in front of them to make sure you got them. Also, if the pest has the line of sight on the drone, the pest will jump on the drone, even if the line of sight is small as possible, like on this coastline video. Now, we'll be talking about several ideas of pest locations, and once we are done with all of them, we will compare Mozzie with other operators. The first and the most basic idea when playing with the pest is place them on this side of the staircases, so as switch it will be harder to shoot it. And also, if drones are going downhill of the stairs, the lower sign won't be enough for them to stop the drone. And most likely, like on the stairs on border, you will be able to capture the drone. However, you will want to get the drone as soon as possible in your control or even bait it, because attackers will definitely try to rush you in the east stairs trying to get rid of the drone. So it could be either a free kill for you or just hide the drone as soon as possible. Also, since we have touched the topic of the Twitch and seeing pests, you can even make it more Twitch proof. Still not 100% Twitch proof. And it is like this in the clubhouse example. Destroy the one layer of the floor and put it here. That way your pets will be safe as long as they don't have IQ from underneath and attackers won't be able to join you out in the CC. Unless we'll go in the unless part in more advanced section. Okay, these were some simple tricks. Let's bait drones in your pests, just how we were baiting people to enter in our Frost welcome mat placements. We will use literally the same technique, placing a bar wire onto the stairs or by the end of the hallway and then pest after it. So the thing about this is, drones are moving way slower into the barbed wires and it's 100% guaranteed that they will jump from the wires directly to your pest. Like on the bank's example for the staircases. If you can see, this time since drones will come from below, we will put the pest like this, so they can way harder see the drones. Let's go to Villa for an example of barbed wires plus pests on the places like hallways, if attackers are pushing from the stackyard and IT. You can also pair up the first tips with the barbed wire tips. Like on border, destroying the destructible floor, putting a barbed wire a bit further, and you still don't want to let your enemy see the pest signal alert. And the trap is successful. For barbed wires ideas, I will definitely ask someone to put a barbed wire for you, because C4 is really nice to have when needed. Windows. Attackers usually start to drone out from windows. With according Pest, you can very easily deny it in two ways, either by placing it by the side of the windows that they cannot be shut out from outside, but also if attackers throw the drone immediately from outside to inside, you will capture the drone and attackers will have no clue that there was a pest. However, the workaround for attacker is to start droning from outside. They will see the sign then. But in that case, you can put the pest a bit further from the window and then attackers will have no clue that the pest is nearby because there is no alert signal. And once they jump into the window, you will get the drone. If you're afraid of it being too exposed, you shouldn't be, unless they have IQ, because why would attackers go to the window for no reason, be wide peeking just to check what is around the window? That's way too risky to do that as an attacker because they can be peeked out if the room ahead isn't drawn out. Check the following prolix Twitch clip where you will be able to see Bug destroying the Mozzie Pest on the middle on the floor.
For a possible site retake. And because of the structure of Liquid's setup,
Also, to add about the pest on the side of the window tip, this one is especially good if drones cannot be thrown on the ground and then jump in the building, just like on the consulate windows. This is very similar to the first border clip video. Attackers will be, after the drone being hijacked, very aggressive to destroy their drone. You can either bait it or immediately move the drone. Also, the side pass cannot be destroyed from the same window, and that was used in the Pro League as well. Takers forcefully sacrificed the drone to remove the pest, just to throw immediately another drone in the room to drone the room out. It was done in this cafe's window, because on the both windows pests were there. The issue for attackers were they wanted to drone out that area from another door or window that will be at least 30 to 40 seconds waste, which is huge, so wasting one drone would be better than wasting 30 to 40 seconds. And finally, if you're playing against attackers that don't want to sacrifice their drones, you pretty much wasted nearly one of their minutes just because of the pest, which is really huge in competitive. A very similar idea can be used for the hatches, like you will be able to see in the following clip.
The BDS are following suit. Again, opening up on this top floor, already seeing those drone warnings as a pest could be able to snatch your drone. Probably not from the roof, but again, could find you if you try to.
Just one pest forced Ash to drop the hatch, which is very risky for her to get the pest. And to be able to drone more, imagine that in that clip she wasn't as brave, or if there was an actual defender close to the hatch with a shotgun, that round will be already lost because of one lost man and still cannot drone from the hatch. Basically, one pest could want them around, which is obviously, again, huge, and that pass was denying the whole hatch. Also, if you know that your attacker is loaded to drop drones from the hatches in a specific way, you can use further pass just like on the windows, or simply combine all the tricks previously with the barbed wires and destruction. Mozzie with his gadget is really flexible, and that is a huge plus from him. So let's jump on the comparison between Mozzie and other operators. So the first on the table is obviously Mute. Since Mozzie and Mute are alerting nearby drones that Jammer or Pest is nearby, and their both gadgets are for denying the drones from attackers, they are clearly in this category of which one to pick when. The pro of Mozzie is flexibility of his pest positions. You can literally place them anywhere. Sometimes they are even placed in a way that attackers cannot destroy it, but have to sacrifice their drone. On the other hand, Mute is sometimes better than Mozzie because Mute can jump bigger areas and has 4 of his jammers. That means, if he has some extra pair of the Mute jammers, which he usually does, he can place them for other stuff, like denying walls being opened, so you can pick one operator instead of 2 operators. Overall, if you want to A roamers to the full potential, and you have enough roamers, go with Mute. However, Mozzie's flexibility and as well as he himself being a roamer can be a plus, in case you're lacking of roamers. Mute also brings better destruction, better shotgun, and SMG-11 in the current patch is quote-to-quote easier to control because the visual kick of the gun is less, but the recoil itself is the same on the other hand, and as far as I know. Mozzie vs Valkyrie. They both have 3 of these. However, Valkyrie when placing a camera doesn't need to do a lot with the cameras, whereas on the other hand, when Mozzie gets his drone, He has to do something with the drone if he wants to use it for the team's intel, like Valkyrie does. Basically, Mozzie will lose his 10 to 15 seconds by positioning each drone in a spot during the action phase, and possibly during last 90 seconds of the action phase. But also he can move them afterwards for his team if needed, and on the other hand, Valkyrie can place 3 of her cameras during preparation phase inside and outside of the building, but she cannot deny attackers information, and the cameras are stationary and usually more visible. So if you want to go for the outside cameras, it's definitely Valkyrie. Other than that, Mozzie is simply picked because he can steal the information and possibly move the information for your teammates, whereas Valkyrie has a very simple job of putting 3 cameras and then she can play whatever she wants. You maybe could add Mozzie versus Echo, but Echo has 2 jobs, and one is to aid his roamers with yokai drones, either by having it in a very hot area like in the bar of the clubhouse, calling his teammates if they can flank by the bar or not, if defending gym or bedroom for instance, or you can use it to help roamers to flank. The other way to use him is to stop the plants. Either way, Echo is picked for a way different reasons than Mozzie. So in short, in these comparisons you could see his cons or bad sides of him, and for instance he cannot stop drones going from the double doors, unless if the floor is soft. By breaking the floor you maybe can with the destructibility tip. Also, to comparison to Valkyrie, once he gets the drone, he has to move it manually to feed the intel to your team. Another thing that I have mentioned in the ideas part is his pets can be quote-to-quote wasted with a drone, if one of attacker's teammates is ready to finish the drone up, whereas if there is a mute jammer, you have to go in the building to destroy the jammer, and that is the unless part. One more very advanced and situational thing is, you can use the alert signal of 2 and a bit more meters like this. Basically, Pest is on guess where? Well, not in the hole, but it's on the ceiling in the room below. That way you can trick drones going inside, they will think that the pest is inside of the hole, the drones won't be able to destroy it, and no one will actually be able to destroy it. However, the pest is not going to catch any drone, so use it only in special cases, and make sure to make the trap look real, with all holes and else. I have already given you a dozen pest examples on all ESL maps, and I really have planned to do a few more examples per every single ESL map. However, since the video is already long enough, so similar to the Angles guide, that video will be for the members and patrons only. Thank you for watching the video. If you have any feedback, let me know down in the comment section below. If you would like to support me, drop me a like, subscribe, and click the notification bell to get all notifications on my channel. Make sure to join my Discord server and to follow me on Twitter.